With wet spring weather well on its way, now is a great time to purchase some all-weather floor mats from today's sponsor, IONIQ. IONIQ is a Maryland-based company selling high-quality, laser-measured floor mats at a great price. They're made from TPE, which is a mixture of rubber and plastic, so they offer traction and flexibility as well as strength when you need to remove them, so you're not going to dump their contents all over your floor. If you've ever owned floor mats from, say, WeatherTech, then you know those are made from a much harder material that tends to warp over time. Not with IONIQ. They also feature a simple and classy-looking pattern with a lip around the entire footwell so liquids won't spread around and get on your carpeting. I've been using their front and rear floor mats as well as trunk and rear seat liners for over a year now, and they've held up admirably. So these floor mats have gotten the IONIQ Guy seal of approval, and when anybody asks which floor mats to buy, I always recommend IONIQ. Available on their website or Amazon, the link's in the description.
Hey, this is Bob Flaherty, the Electric Principal, and today I'm once again riding shotgun. And usually I'm not a shotgun guy, but the last few videos, one I sent to the Ionic guy is on his channel. This one, my previous video on the Ionic 9, they're all riding shotgun because I have good drivers with me. And today I have Flint from Crossroads Hyundai driving today. Hey Flint, say hi.
Hey guys, how's your day going?
Flint is from Alaska, right?
Yeah, lived in Alaska for the last 5 years. Just moved down here to Colorado last month, and been working here with Bob. So.
Hey, and how many cars, electric cars, did you sell in Alaska?
I gotta be honest, maybe one or two over the years that I was selling cars up there.
So Flint's, you're learning though. I mean, because compared to Alaska, I think Colorado sells a gazillion of them, right?
Oh, I mean, I can't believe
Left turn here, Flint.
How many I've sold just starting at this dealership compared to the last Hyundai that I was at up there.
Yeah. So it's all good. And today what we're doing is we're driving an SEL Ionic 9. And originally this video was going to be just strictly about how does this car charge. You know, Flint's going to be looking around because he has never been to the Horse Stewart Reservoir.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
And so he's in awe because you can't help but be in awe when you're driving around here. And what we're going to do is we wanted to really check how this car is going to do in terms of charging. And right now we're at 24%. We've been driving around a little bit. And, you know, we're going to get this battery good and warm. And then we're going to head to a charger just to see how this works. And I'm not going to go to a Tesla charger today. I'm going to go to a standard Electrify America, you know, 350 kilowatt charger, and we're going to see how fast we can get this battery, which is 110 kilowatt hours charged. So that's what we're going to do. But, you know, before we get there, I'm just going to say right now that we're at, what percentage are we on the battery?
We're at 24%.
Yeah, and we're following an awesome Miata.
Little Mazda Miata.
I mean, I'm not a gas car guy, but I still love Miatas.
Oh yeah, I can't fit them, but they're awesome cars.
But what's the battery at right now, Flint?
We're at 24%. It says about 70 miles left on range.
Right, and we are going to put maybe 30 miles on this car. We're not taking it down to 5%. We're not doing a Kyle Connors special where we get it down to 5% and do all the scientific stuff, because this is just to give you some real world data on this particular car at this particular time on how fast it charges. So that's really what we're doing today. And we're in an SEL, you know, and what do you think of the SEL?
Man, I actually love the SEL. This thing is super clean. They're fairly cheap compared to, you know, the limiteds and the calligraphies once you get into those performance trims. And I've noticed they have a lot more options than the SELs in like the Tucsons or the Elantras or any of our other cars, even compared to the Ionic 5s. So.
Yeah, and so what I say is there's a lot of bang for your buck in this car for $67,000, which is, let's take a left here, Flint. For thousands less than you're going to pay for a performance trim like a calligraphy, you're still going to get a lot. Let's talk about that. What do I get in this car?
I mean, if we're looking at the differences between an SEL in like the Tucson or an SEL in like an Elantra or something, this one, it's got the cooled seats in it. That's not going to come in any of those other cars. You got the heated steering wheel.
You didn't need cooling seats in Alaska, did you ever?
No, you did not need cooled seats in Alaska. But But you know, we still got the cars up there with them. But there's tons of features in this thing too. You know, you got your 360 view camera, which is going to give you that bird's eye view from the top of your car.
And that's a must. That should be in every car. I've said that in every video. You're probably sick of me saying that.
You know, honestly, every single one of my customers that get into a vehicle with those features, even after being in a lower tier trim level, it's a really big seller for people, because you can see your blind spot monitors. They give you a camera on the dash when you turn your turn signals on, and it helps out so much when you're driving around.
And that is not on any other SEL trim. And you know, so you've got all of that blind spot monitoring here. The only thing you don't have is the blind spot monitoring that comes with the heads-up display on the more expensive models.
Yeah, exactly.
But I am telling you, you've got blind spot monitoring everywhere, automatic lane change. You've got that bird's eye camera, which Flint, I'm a terrible parker. I'm awful.
Okay. It's okay. I love it. I love the bird's eye camera.
So that helps me out a lot, and I don't buy a car without that. So I could buy an SEL like this and have that feature, and not have Roberta tell me I didn't do a good job parking, because this thing had worked for me. So
you got no excuses when you have the bird's eye
No.
camera.
Well, you know, it's meant to help people who are parking challenged.
Oh yeah.
And I'm one of them. I'm not afraid to admit that, you know.
You know, a lot of the times too, when you have those you know, 360 cameras too, you get those parking features, and you know, automatic parking on the key. You can auto start your car and move the car around with the key, and I believe the SEL and the Ioniq 9s have that feature.
And the other thing I'll say too is that what you lose with the SEL that you would get in the limited or the more performance is those cars have 425 horsepower, close to that. This only comes with 303 horsepower.
Still
and so nobody's
great
behind
get up
us,
and
right,
go.
Flint? Let's slow down here for just a second, and we'll get a little straightaway here. Let's keep going until we get a straight.
There's a little straight up here, but yeah, they still have plenty.
And then we're
going
to come to a complete stop, and I'm going to put this car right now and make sure that it is in sport mode.
Yep.
No, we don't want that. We don't want that. We want sport mode, and we are in sport mode, and we're good to go. So we're going to drop in just a second when we get around the curve here. And all I want Flint to do is I want him to obey all laws, not break any, and just see what the 0 to 40 time, because we're still legal in Horsetooth here when we do that. And I think when we come around this curve, we're going to take a quick stop. No one is behind us. No one's going to get injured here. We don't take any chances.
No chances.
Besides, if we break it, we bought it, and we're not in that position right now.
I am not breaking.
I got too many cars already. I don't need to buy this one. So we're going to come to a complete stop, and now you're just gonna floor it.
Yeah.
Right, and just see what this is like. Go. Oh yeah. So to be honest, that 303 horsepower is mostly at the start.
It is mostly at the start. But
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, in a big, you know, family SUV like that, you cannot ask for more power. I mean, you're not going to find anything that's going to get up and go and keep you safe on the highway.
Yeah, you used to sell Pacificas for Stellantis, right?
Yeah, for
and
Stellantis.
could a
prices
Pacifica
are
keep up with that, you think?
I do not think so. I do not think so.
And that's my belief about electric cars. Sometimes we don't need 600 horsepower in a car. It's fun to have, just like this one. You know, the calligraphy trim with performance is 422 horsepower. That's fun. I get it. That's fun, but you really don't need it. And
I'm telling you, the 303 though, it's still a lot of fun. There's plenty of power in this.
Yeah, and it's amazing because a car this size, this is coming with less horsepower than you would get if you bought a all-wheel drive Ioniq 5. It still presses you back in your seat. It really gets going. They really get that instant burst of power. I don't notice that it isn't an electric. It feels way more powerful, and it's fun to drive. But you know what? You've only got 303 horsepower. That's plenty.
Yeah. Especially in a big car like this, it gets up and goes. You're not going to have to worry about, you know, passing anyone. You'll be able to do whatever you need to when you're
right.
driving
And if
around. I'm
driving kids around town, or I'm going on a road trip, you know, I'm going to get this up to 75 miles an hour, and I just don't really need the more horsepower. Now, would I buy an upper level trim? Of course I do.
Yeah.
I always do, but that's just because I want it. What I like about this car if you're not going to put out the $75,000, $76,000 for a car that is that powerful, you're fine. And I think from a utilitarian point of view, this works. And I have had long conversations with Brother Pat, who does my podcast with me. He's already thinking about buying an SEL because once he found out it had those features, it's like, I don't need any more. I really don't. And it's going to bring the price of this down. Now, I mean, it's not cheap, but we're talking $66,000, $67,000 for this car. And they're already discounting them. I mean, if you lease one of these from Hyundai, it's insane what they're leasing these for right off the bat. And, this car is going to compete against, some upper high-end cars. It's going to go against the Rivian, SUV. You know what? Doesn't matter because this car is going to be discounted. It has plenty of power. It's all-wheel drive. It has tons of space. And in the end, it's going to be a better value because Hyundai is going to give you a better price on it. I love Rivians. Don't get me wrong. I think they're terrific cars. But from a practical standpoint and what I'm paying for this car, they don't discount Rivians.
No, they don't.
And Hyundais, they discount.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So what we're going to do right now is we're down to 23%. And we're going to roll here at a pretty good clip. And we're heading to I-25. And then what we're going to do is head to a charger, Electrify America at the Target store. And what I'm going to do right now is just quickly hit the setup while we're driving here. And I'm going to go, actually, let's hit home here. That's really what I need to do. And I'm going to hit it again. All right, we're going to go into EV battery. All right, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate battery preconditioning. And right now, we have nothing used on battery care percent right now. We've used 12% on climate and 81% in the drivetrain. But we're going to drive this. We're at 22%. Battery preconditioning. We're going to catch you just before we get to the chargers, have a chat with where we're at, and then I'm going to help plug this car in. We're gonna give you a lesson, Flint,
well, I'm gonna need
and how to do it because he doesn't own an electric car in Alaska. He didn't own one, and we're gonna see what this thing charges at. And I'm kind of excited to see that because theoretically, this car will not charge as fast as the Ioniq 5 does. It's going to be slightly under that because of we've got we've got a 110 kilowatt hour battery in this car versus 84 kilowatt hours in my 25 Ioniq 5.
Which is crazy. That gives you said it gives 320 miles in this?
Yep. Yep. And, this car, if you bought the rear-wheel drive SE version of this car, and they don't even call it SE, it's a rear-wheel drive car. It only gets 15 miles more in range with a single motor and like 200 and some horsepower, and you only get 15 more miles of range out of the car. Man, oh man, you are not paying a very big price to get a 320 horsepower car with that much range with dual motor. So I say, the smart money is on the SEL if you like your luxury and you want a sunroof that goes from here to Alaska and an actual sunroof.
Yeah.
Go get yourself one of the higher trim cars. They're beautiful. They're two-tone leather. But you know what? If you can afford it, great. But this is a much better option, I think, for a lot of families who are trying to raise kids in this day and age. Hey, so we'll catch you later. I hope you enjoyed some of the scenery. I think Flint's going to be coming back here more often. This is his first time up here.
This is my first time over.
And it's pretty impressive. And when he told me that, I thought, we got to go up to Horsetooth Reservoir just above west of Fort Collins. So we'll see you soon. Hey, so we're back right now. We are heading towards our final destination, which is the Electrify America at the Target store in Loveland, Colorado. And we've averaged about 2.8 miles per kilowatt on this run. And we've done 46 miles. And some of that driving was pretty aggressive. Well, and by the way, power
Did a
is
little-
not an issue in this car, is it, Flynn?
Yeah, no, it is not. Did a little bit of an aggressive pass on the highway just because we had somebody coming up behind us. And I'm telling you, at speeds, the car gets up and goes and does exactly what you're going to want it to do to safely pass somebody on the interstate or the highway.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was. It was a lot of fun too, honestly.
So, because
Yeah.
I drive a little slower than Flint does. But anyway,
Yeah. Well, we want to make sure we're testing the car
we
out.
sure did. We
Yeah.
sure did. But really, you know, when we're talking about this, when you get up to the upper levels of over 420 horsepower, I am here to tell you that the average person absolutely does not need that. Although if you like it, great. And that you've got plenty of zip and pump here, and that, you know, I would imagine, you know, this car could really roll to a high rate of speed in a short order. So we're thrilled with it right now. And right now we're closing in at 15%. So we're going to see how we're doing. Now, the other thing I was going to just mention to you is we talked a little bit about the car. And Flint, you talked about how quiet it was.
Yeah. Especially on the highway, it is very quiet in here. You know, we have a big truck we can hear next to us, but when we're just by ourselves, I mean, I cannot hear a lot of road noise in here, and it's very comfortable.
Yeah, and so I'm impressed with the ride. And what a lot of people don't realize is that, you know, Hyundai. So what's the biggest car Hyundai sells?
The biggest car Hyundai sells, I mean, not including this, is the Palisade.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I think this is bigger than a Palisade, so now this is the biggest vehicle
yeah.
for space-wise.
The wheelbase is 8 inches longer
Yep.
than on a Palisade, which is really impressive.
Flint and I have now arrived at the Electrify America at Target, and we've interrupted something because there are literally 5 squad cars here, and they're searching a car, and so something's probably not right. But anyway, we're going to plug this in now, and we're at a CCS charger, Electrify America, so we're going to have to use the adapter because Flint do some work here, and I'm going to do some filming of him.
So we
Here.
gotta get Oh, maybe here. Do you have the key on you?
Pardon?
Do you have the key on you?
I do.
Let me see that.
So here we
thing.
go. There we go. We're going to do that. All right. And so we're going to open up the back and we're going to get out the charging. Are we too close to that, Flint? Are we
Just
going
a
to bang
little
into it?
bit. Maybe.
Yeah, we're a little tight.
We're a little tight. I don't know.
Oh, perfect.
Oh yeah, not a
Perfect.
problem.
I thought you goofed it up, but I
Me
was
too.
wrong.
I was worried.
All right. So now we're going to get the plug, and he is just going to take that out of plastic because it's never been used.
Brand new.
And what we're going to do is go to the other side of the car here. All right. And we are, all right. And what we're going to do is open that up, push the button, and we're just going to put the plug in the correct way. Yep. So it goes the other way there. That's backwards. We're doing a CCS.
As you guys can tell, I have no idea what I'm doing. A little
I say
Alaska boy.
earn while you learn, why not?
Hey, why not? Why-
Get it all the way in there. Give it a good push.
Should
All
be
right,
good.
so we got it in tight. All right. So connecting to vehicle, and we're going to swipe. Now we got it.
Now it's
All right,
going.
yeah, we just. Okay.
Like I said, never used a charger before. It was probably my bad. But Bob knows what he's doing. He's got me all sorted out. So now we're
Okay,
going, huh?
so we're charging right now. We're just going to click continue here, and it's going to thank us for using Electrify America. But we're really interested to see how fast this charges because we preheated this. It took us a little while to plug in. But right now we are starting. We're going to be 26 minutes. Now it's
24.
55 degrees. 55 degrees out, and we're starting at 27 kilowatts. But let's see what this ramps up to. So let's go in the car and take a look at what's going on.
Cool. Yeah.
So we're at the charger right now. We just plugged it in a little bit ago when our range was at maybe 40 miles. We were at 13 or 12%,
Right.
and we've been charging for maybe 2 minutes, and we're already sitting at 17. If you notice, the kilowatt down here is absolutely zooming, and it's just charging so fast. We preconditioned the battery. We took it for a drive to get it down to a lower percent just so we could see how quickly these things are charging, and it is zooming. So right now we're sitting at about 20%, and you know, we know a lot of vehicles, once they get to a certain percentage with electric cars, their charging speed kind of falls off, and that's what we're wanting to take a look at here. So we're going to give it a second and wait until we're about 50%, and we're going to come back and see how quickly this car is charging and see if it's charging just as fast as it is right now. So we are now at 42%, which is about 10% higher than the last time, and we're still at 234. It just hit 235 kilowatts per hour charging speed. So at 236, so as we've been getting higher in charging level, it's been charging a little bit faster and faster. We're thinking at some point it's going to drop off, but it's still getting faster. 236, 237.
Yeah,
almost.
I'm just waiting for the drop off, and it's not coming.
Yeah, yeah. So right here, if you notice on the screen, it says 8 minutes to 80%, and then you have this 37 minutes remaining on the top. So as you can tell, we've been waiting here maybe 15 minutes so far to get from 14% to 65. It'll take about 22 to 24 minutes to get all the way to that 80% mark. And then to get from 80% to 100 is going to take a little bit more time to really fill that battery to its full.
Yeah.
So now we're at 70% battery power, and we're still running at about 184 kilowatts per hour. So over the course of the last, we're dropping a little bit right now to 164.
So we're at 160 kilowatts. I apologize for the flashing, but we've only charged for 19 minutes, and we've delivered 70 kilowatts worth of electricity. We have been charging 22 minutes, 76 kilowatts. And we're paying 42 cents a kilowatt because I'm on the Electrify America plan. But I tell you what, that's pretty impressive. I'm very impressed with this. And even at 79%, we are cruising in here at 132 kilowatts. I remember when I had my ID4, I couldn't even get it to 132 kilowatts when I plugged it in and the battery was warm and I was at 3%. I want to take a few minutes here to thank Flint for coming along today, being my driver. I should probably pay him for that.
No, you don't gotta pay him. Don't worry.
And really impressed with the charging speed of this car. This little real world challenge here. And you know, that's why you buy cars that charge fast, right? It makes a huge difference when you're on a road trip. It did an absolutely fantastic job. You know, I can't think of better results. You know, it's a 110 kilowatt hour battery. And it's amazing that this, you know, 22, 23 minutes, you've gone to 80%. And so really pleased with the charging speed. So if you're road tripping, this is a real road tripper. And I'm going to compare this to Volkswagen for a minute, because the Volkswagen is a good charging car to the Buzz. But there is no way you're going to fill up a Buzz this way. And there's no way that you're going to have the kind of range that this car has charging at these speeds. It's really a good road tripper. Highly recommend it for that. And I think Brother Pat might buy one of these.
Might happen.